And he's back. There he is. And we are somewhere completely different. He is standing right now in Lake Huron. Well, he was standing in Lake Huron and looking into the sun over there. That is, they call it Cedarville on marine traffic, but they load, or is that calcite? They load that there. So we're just east of Cedarville. I'm sorry if you're getting some wind, because I actually didn't come prepared to make a video. I just picked him up from the dog sitter because I had my surgery. Figured I'd pop over here really quickly. Just, because we both haven't really been out in a long time, so it's a really short walk. The parking lot's just right over there. But if you remember back from my winter videos, I went to the Narnia Trail. That's what this is. Is the Narnia Trail. So going to slowly, because that's my walking speed right now, slowly go back here in the trees. And there we go. Now this might look a little more familiar. Right down there, I think my camera shut off when I was down here last time. I think my battery died, but there's a little spring right there. So in the winter, this little inlet there stays ice-free. I'll be quick because I have like 3% battery on this. I remember this in September when I was here. This little bit of open water. There's a spring right here. There's just a little bit of motion in the water movement. So this is it's like a neat area. It's full of cedars. There's all these rocks like this. And a whole lot of greenery, as you can see. So we might go up here just a little bit. I'm in that dangerous time of my recovery here. And that I feel pretty good. Which means it could be easy to overdo it. So trying to be aware of that. And so I guess talk about, if I can figure out how to do this. There we go. Flip it around. What I had done. So almost a year ago, in October of last year, I started having atrial fibrillation, which is the most common, I believe, arrhythmia in the world. Oh, Argo's doing his thing, so I guess I picked a good time. And I mentioned I was in the hospital. I spent 2 days in the ICU. I went back to normal rhythm on my own. Here, let me pick this up really quick. All right, pick that up. And he's sitting on my foot. Silly dog. Anyway, I spent 2 days in the ICU, went back to normal on my own after a day. Then they let me go after another day of observation, and then all the tests started. And they test me for sleep apnea, which I don't have. And I don't have any of the normal things that can cause atrial fibrillation. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't have, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all these things. So then it really comes down to, like, why is it happening? And I'll spare you the really long story, but they figured out decades ago that in cases like mine, almost always the cause are bundles of active nerves that grow along the pulmonary veins. And I had to refresh my knowledge of anatomy during all this. Because, you learn it, then you don't do it, so you forget about it. So the pulmonary veins are the veins that go from your lungs back into your left atrium in your heart. And left atrium is nearly all the time, like it's responsible for the AFib so much they pretty much consider it to be the responsible part. So you get these bundles of nerves along those pulmonary veins that just kind of happen. So then they do what's called an ablation. And in the past, they would do either heat or cold to do it. And a couple years ago, they came up with a new way called a pulsed field ablation. And they use like radio waves, essentially electricity, and to do the procedure. So that's what I had done in Traverse City on Thursday, the 11th of September. So they really quickly, they actually go into your femoral vein down in your groin, and they go all the way up into your heart to do all the work. So what's interesting is the recovery time is very short, especially compared to how they used to do it with the heat. 7 days. I'm on the 4th day now. So, and most of the recovery time is spent just taking care of where they go in to your groin, because it's right where your leg bends. So you got to be very careful. That's why I'm walking very slow and carefully stepping. So I had a little bit of a complication in that afterwards it didn't want to stop bleeding. So they normally they let you go about 3 hours or so afterwards. After the procedure, you have to lay flat for 3 hours with your legs straight. And then they sit you up. If you're still good, then they have you walk around and then send you on your way. Well, they sat me up to walk around and immediately laid me back down, and the nurse spent 20 minutes pressing on my leg right where the puncture site was. So that was uncomfortable. And they did discharge me that day, but I had to spend an extra night at the Manor, which is a little, I hesitate to use the word hotel, but it's on the campus, like literally 100 feet from the hotel, or so the hospital itself. So I was discharged with the understanding I would stay there a second night. And both the night before and the night after were not very good sleeping nights, as you can imagine. The night before I was nervous about what was going to happen, and the night after I was nervous about what might happen if I had any weird movements in my sleep. So, but got home and all good. So as I said earlier, like it feels okay. I actually was able to tie my shoes today, and it feels okay as I'm just being very careful. You know, I could easily walk faster, but I don't want to set myself back in my recovery. So I'm going to flip this back around. Okay, there's the best boy. And so during that time, I don't have anyone to watch Argo, so I had him boarded. And the place I boarded him at is in Cedarville. Really nice people. Really nice people, you know, and they do a good job, and they take good care of Argo. And they don't put dogs in cages, so it's really nice. So there we go. There's our little walk. I'm going to come back down here. Give Argo another chance. That's some of this water, Lake Huron water. I can't bend over enough to put my hand in there just yet. But there we go. So that is all that. So hopefully that's done. I have a few follow-up appointments, one in a month and one in December. But there's over a 90% chance that I'll never have AFib again. So I'll take that. And here, if I can zoom in, there's water. It's bubbling out of the ground. You know how long it took to fill up Lake Huron like this? Really long time. Anyway, that's enough for today. I'm gonna get off my feet, drive back home. I sure missed you, Argo. Glad to have you back. We'll be seeing you soon, won't we?